You know, potentially. I'm a big Pred guy. We'll have to see. Jay, I hope I don't offend you too much. I know you're rooting on your New York boys, especially lately.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not really rooting for him. I'm not a biased cast or anything. I want this match to be a banger all the way to a game 5, and that's exactly what I think is going to happen, man. As we looked at the maps and the modes, the biggest thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that Seattle Surge, going into our last major, still have an auto veto, and that was that Expo control. I think that map number 3 is going to tell the story of how this series is going to go, because since you auto veto that, you allowed NYSL to get hotel control back into the image where they haven't played it in over a month. The reason why they haven't played it is because teams know that's their best control. We cannot challenge them on that map. So with New York winning it in the vetoes, they get 2 of their best hard points, they get their best Surge and Destroy in the game 2, and they have the best control in the game 4. I don't really know why Seattle decided to come out here with this game plan. Hopefully they show me some.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because even going back to last year, this has been kind of the strategy of Seattle, where it's like, hey, we're just going to kind of ban the things that we want to. Like, they absolutely are a team that has those auto vetoes, and it doesn't really matter who they play. They're just going to kind of do that same thing over and over again. We've heard, I think, like the flank hit on it so many times previously. Surge know what they like and know what they don't like. We'll see if that strategy comes out and works for them today in a very, very grueling matchup here versus the New York Subliners. It's a fun one, Jay. I mean, on the year, it's been all about Seattle, but right now, New York, they have been looking very solid, top 4 in every single game mode.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one that stands out is their S&D performance so far in this stage. They're 4-1 in Search and Destroy. We saw them at the event get 1v3, 1v4. They didn't have no ice. They have completely turned it around so far in this stage. And that's where they have been able to take down some Titans. But at the end of this P1 hardpoint, 19-17, very scrappy to start it off from both of these teams. But New York, they were able to relieve some of that pressure, rotate early, and set up properly toward this P2. But they had no one towards the street side. Seattle were able to push right up the street, get that side of the map control, and now they're able to instantly get an L.
Yeah, this is not a common look lately here for New York. They've been the best rotating team in the game. Already broke within the first few seconds. However, can they continue to lock things down? KiSMET to the rescue. He has been a respawn fiend so far in Major 5, putting up some massive numbers, and especially did so versus the LA Thieves, trying to have that same impact today. And another massive game here versus the Seattle Surge. Seattle, a little bit of adversity handed to the New York end over at P2. However, they handle it, and now over to the ACs we go. HyDra at a big spot.
Yeah, both of these guys are great when it comes down to the rotations. They're probably going to go both for blow. But the thing that really stands out is that Seattle are terrible when it comes to the setups. 10th overall in hold percentage. And if you're not finding successful holds on aBeZy, the stat line can start to get out of hand. As so far on this P3, not a single team is going to be in towards the point. Seattle only have 2 players on this side of the map. And New York already, all they have to do is win a couple gunfights and the pinch is going to be in.
Yeah, it looks like it already. Yeah, based off of the arrows, that's a clean 3, nearly for a second 4 down there of Surge. Jay, we've been talking about this team so much when it comes down to their hard point. They were great so pretty much so far throughout the season. However, rotations lately have been a little bit lacking, and then the Des touched on it on our Monster Energy pregame. The holds have not been looking good so far throughout Major 5, and right there, the holds come to cost them in a big hill over at the ACs. They need to regain and regroup quickly.
Yeah, the hold percentage is not the best, but if you think about who Seattle had to play, the #1 hardpoint team, and then the #2 hardpoint team in Toronto and OpTic Texas. Those are not easy matchups, so the stats are going to get padded a little bit on the bad side. But when you played versus Boston, they were great. Now you're going against a tough competition in NYSL, but it has to be better. As we now find ourselves off the rotation over towards P4, Seattle Surge, the team here early. You play your corners, you're playing for these kills, just making it a lot more difficult for New York to find an entry.
Yep, HyDra and Co looking to jump on in. KiSMET first one to dive on forward. He ends up falling. Mack able to find 2 in strike. Great work coming in from Mackenzie. So Seattle able to weather the storm. Still 35 very valuable points to fight for. Ones that Surge would love to have to get right back in this game. And down by 25, they can take the lead. But New York eager to jump in again. But it's Pred and Mack who are able to answer once more. 2 giant attacks come in from the Subliners, and it's Pred and Mack, the SMGs, in close quarters, handling them every single time. Surge have just tied the game up.
And that's a massive hold right there from Seattle, more specifically the SMGs. I thought when the first 2 players dropped, Pred and Mack had a tall task ahead, but Pred was able to find 3 in those moments to now tie the game and take the lead for just a little bit. But now off the rotation. Subliners is going to be in towards the kitchen hill. With a couple players from Seattle attacking from multiple different angles. They take back gas control, and this can cause problems for the Subliners.
Yeah, definitely can if you spawn out toward top side orange. Accuracy, a big win. They're on to
big win.
Oh, another one on to Priestahh. And P-Dog will also fall. Great work coming in from Surge as Mack looking to continue his spree. Surge jumped right on forward and now are making New York pay. Excellent coordination as Surge continue to roll. Everybody's winning their fights. Dante trying to get back to the slang. A 6-13 beginning. He's lightening the load for the rest of his teammates inside of the hard point.
Oh yeah, with only 20 seconds left, that's already job well done. If you are Seattle Surge, you get a majority of that time over towards kitchen. Now you're going back to the scrappy mid-map hill around that P1 area. But at the end of the first rotations, it's been all about the SMGs for Seattle. The AOs are starting to step up as the game gets deeper into this one. But if Pred is going to continue to play like this, all Mack has to do is sit the hell and soak up some time because the Predator, he's not missing. He's striking twice.
Oh my goodness, he quite literally is the Predator missile. Now 3 in a row, 16 and 9. Oh, he's 1 HP, manages to survive that fight. It takes HyDra's full attention to eventually shut down the Aussie. Great impact plays coming in from HyDra, however, or excuse me, from Pred. However, he eventually does fall. 30 seconds still left over at P1, and really for right now for Surge, they're prioritizing all of their issues, all of their numbers at P2. However, New York have just found some timely ones, so it's going to be a full-on headbutt for the backside of parking as we step aside and see the comms are sounding in a chaotic moment. We'll go to the comms now, Surge.
One Xbox, okay? Another one's crossing Lamar, careful.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm in the back with you. One is Xbox. Okay.
I stun up here.
I spawn B court, I'm aiming top. Tom dead. I spawn B court. Single bin.
One more. Back wall, laying down.
Back wall, let me close. Double bins, guys.
Stay alive in the back.
Double bins weak, Caesar.
I'm gonna pinch
Caesar, double bins weak.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill Tom. He saw Tom. He's close to Tom. My side, I'm down. Dead, Mack. I'm standing alive, helping you. I have your front. On the van.
I got the van. One more low gas on me.
On the van, on the wall. Gas truck dead.
Top gas spot, last guy. Top gas spot.
Okay,
top gas spot, Priestahh, last guy.
Big Tom, big fucking Tommy, boys. He's on the gas wall. I'm holding front.
I have your front time, guys. I have your front time.
One more Priestahh. I have your front time with you. Two gas truck to left. They're like single van.
Sign Paco.
Single van, absolutely. I killed van.
Front time, Paco.
I have your front time.
Front time, Paco. Front time.
I have your gas truck.
Okay.
I'm one shot on time. I'm staying down.
Orange Paco. Orange weak Paco. They are okay.
I'm flying over.
Nothing crush it.
Okay, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna gas for
middle one shot.
We're gonna gas for guys.
Nice. Okay, P1.
Snaking the gas wall. I'm waiting for someone. Wrap this guy with me. I'm hitting from
top AC dead.
Priestahh was in the gas truck.
Orange.
Priestahh orange. Watch that.
I got him. Nice. He's
I got time.
That guy was low gas. I don't know where he went. He's top gas. I'm blocking the gas. I'm gonna come down. Nice. I'm saying gas. I have your
P1? Yeah, no. I P1.
No, I'm gonna go gas, guys.
P1. One shot, P1 going bottom orange. Back alley.
No, oh my god.
Nice.
Bottom orange, Priestahh.
I'm coming, brother.
Help Tom. Amy,
P1.
I'm looking ladder.
Okay, I have to jump back. One trees. P1.
One's ladder, yeah.
We just witnessed what potentially is the turning point of this game. Great rotations here being made from Seattle. New York still fighting, but down by 60 plus. Jay, in that listening with Surge, was there anything that you didn't like what you heard there?
No, I love the intensity. I love how quick and calm the communication was. But the only thing that I didn't like was the body language from Simp. He's sitting at 12 and 22. He's throwing a couple of shoulders, a couple of shrugs. You can definitely feel the intensity in this map. But his teammates got his back, man. They're currently up by 63 points. They were able to change that P2 to P3 and outgrow themselves a nice little 60-point lead. One break is truly all Seattle Surge need to probably put a ball on this map.
Yeah, it looks like it could be coming soon. However, HyDra and Co able to find a few important kills, trying to stagger the push right now of Seattle as they go 3 down. Really, with 35 seconds left, maybe you've got one last good look at it, and that could be the turning point. Great entries being made from Mack. Simp able to put one up on the board. Now 13 and 24. But as we said, a few late game kills could be all the difference. Trades inside. New York still winning them.
New York still in. New York know that they have to fight for this final 20, but Seattle Surge are not going to give that one coming up for free. So the final 15 is going to go in favor of the Surge. And it's going to come down to this battle of the rotations. HyDra already finds himself in towards bottom red. He's just trying to play this timing. You have Skyz that's playing in towards the hill. Your teammates are dropping around. So you have to try to make plays. And Mack assists you by killing himself. That's not the best start to try to finding a break.
Yeah, well, I'm saying we're inside of the kitchen right now. Mack, well, he's cooking himself. Deep fried and tenderized. Mack, unfortunately, does hit the deck, and with that, now New York are within 30 points. Can they continue to lock this down is the question. Get those tacks out of your hands and now put the Vaznevs to good use. A position that HyDra absolutely love. Close quarter specialties. However, his teammates have fallen by the wayside. Can he remain alive? No, he does not. Another late game break coming in from Surge.
Oh, Surge, they timed that perfectly. They sent pressure through the front, pressure through the back, and eventually Pred is able to win a couple of those gunfights to find the break. Seattle Surge cannot win on this kitchen hill, but they could get pretty damn close with this final 15 seconds. Subliners know they have to apply the pressure. They cannot give up all this junk time. KiSMET's gonna go for the route through back kitchen, but Seattle Surge, they're not panicking. They know all they need is another 10 seconds, and map 1 is theirs.
Yeah, it feels like if you're Surge, you just have so much freedom on the map right now. Only 7 more seconds to go. You can play late game contest. You can play for kills really at this point. And really, you can just jump on P1 whenever the time calls for it. Another long range kill coming in from Pred, as that will open things up for a moment. Accuracy with Vaznev in hand. He eventually dropped. Simp finds 2. Pred goes for the snap. Not there. Another second added. 6 more to go. Surge should surely be able to do this, but New York doing everything that they need to around the map.
Yeah, Subliners, they're just making sure that they stay off the hill. They're training efficiently, not allowing Seattle Surge to get fully set up. And now with that 2 kills going in their favor, that's making 3. Mack's the only player up now. You are getting a couple close spawns if you are Seattle Surge in towards the PD. So you should win that rotation over towards kitchen. There has to be a break coming in from the Subliners to keep this game alive.
Yeah, with Pred finding that kill through the middle side, that very well should be it. Oh my God, there's one player behind him. KiSMET actually on the 5 spree. Now has a chance to jump on.
Oh my!
He's gonna make it 6. So New York have a brief moment where they can still hop on this hard point. Surge dancing around the outside. Now 4 more seconds to go. It's still 5. No, they did not get that segment. They did not get that tick. KiSMET bringing in the streak. He ends up finding 2. New York have numbers as we rush back into the parking lot.
Oh, it has to be a scrappy hill. Both teams, more specifically Seattle, all they need is 1 set of kills and they might have just got it done. Pred finds 2, Pred finds 3 in those final moments of the map 1 for Seattle Surge to go up 1-0 in the series.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a solid victory, but New York hung out for a while. Surge were within 10 seconds for what felt like 10 minutes. But they were able to put aBeZy in the books as Predator erupts for 37 and 23. We talk about the matchup between the 2 international superstars, Pred versus HyDra. It is Pred who answers early. HyDra still a phenomenal game, 31 to 27. It's not as if he did not play well, but Pred putting up the most kills in the lobby. It ends up helping get his team a game 1 victory, and one that they so desperately needed, Jay. As we said, for Surge, Hardpoint has really been their home so far throughout this year. Considering how solid New York is on all fronts, the game 1 victory here was absolutely necessary if you're Seattle.
And if you think about how Seattle were able to get it done, the first 3 hills to start off this game were all New York. They respond with a great 60 hold over towards P4. But then when you get into the second rotation, the hard points, it was the chain from P2 to P3 that really blew this game wide open. Pred was just being that roaming slayer with that SMG in hand, playing the cutoffs, and he was just causing Subliners so many issues because they think they had the numbers, but you just couldn't find a trade onto Pred. That's what that young man is capable of. I actually had the opportunity to talk with him on the Friendly Fire podcast alongside my guy Nameless. Keep in mind, your episode is coming soon. Has not dropped yet. But he told me he's never worried about his respawn game. He knows exactly what he needs to do when it comes out to the respawn. The more thing that he's been focused on is his S&D prowess. And to be honest, I don't really think that that's a main focus for him either. He's been a 1.28 in the S&D so far on the season. The thing that he told me he had to work on was just those little things, the positionings, the plays with your teammates to allow you to get different plays on the map. And I just think the way that he is playing right now, he's probably not the best player in the game, but one of the best players in the game in every single category, because he's consistently doing it on a different level versus some of the top teams in the game. Pred is truly a nice, beautiful player to watch in Call of Duty.
Oh, he's beautiful. I absolutely love to look at him, Jay. He's great. And the player cams, the gameplay, man has it all, truly. But it's been difficult, right? When you talk about, I mean, both of these players, HyDra and Pred, I mean, we know they're two of the most talented SMGs that we have in the game. And, you know, we've started to get into those MVP conversations. It feels like for New York, they maybe haven't had all of the results that you would have liked. You know, they've had the Major 1 victory, but since then it hasn't really been all that stellar. You know, they've had a good moment here or there, but it feels like HyDra maybe can't be elevated. The same thing can be said for Pred, having another superstar year, but the results really are not yet there to get into that MVP convo. So again, two unbelievable talents that thankfully we get the opportunity to watch continue to battle it out here in this series, but trying to wield their teams to wins, which is really what this series is all about, what this year has been all about. Into the LSCLO Search Destroy as we jump into it, my friend. I mean, what we actually saw, you and I had the cast on Seattle not long ago on this very map versus Boston Breach, and they made a pretty crazy comeback. However, what can you tell us about the New York side and how they look to handle Surge here in map 2?
Oh, Subliners, this is their best search and destroy map. They're sitting at an overall 62 record. They're a #1 team at finding first bloods. Usually whenever they find a first blood, they have a 70% chance at winning the round. So that's really all that you need to talk about here, because the Subliners, if they get the first kill, more specifically on defense, it's 68% of the time they're getting that first kill. They're winning the round 80% of the time. So if you are the Seattle Surge, we watched them play this versus Boston Breach. Biggest thing that stood out for me is that they had a slow start to the map, but they were never worried about the situations that were happening throughout. It was Mack who were down 2-5. He goes on a couple sprees, was able to earn himself a cruise missile, and then the teamwork starts to come into play for Seattle Surge. I feel like that's what lacks in the beginning of their S&Ds, is the teamwork aspect. They need to make sure that they're bringing that teamwork versus a team like Subliners, who are great even in the 3v4 situations. 40% overall chance at winning the round on LSCLO.
It just feels like, really, when you talk about both these teams, Jay, I mean, for New York, a chance to really continue to strengthen the map pool, trying to fine-tune everything in your tool bag come Major 5. And for Surge, it's just a matter of, like, trying to at least improve in Search Destroy, as it has been just such a hamper on them so far throughout this season. I believe they still have the #12 record on the year. They've had their moments, but this has been the game mode that has held them back more than any other. But into LSCLO Search Destroy we go. One that's treated Seattle nice lately, one that has treated New York very well all throughout the season. As we battle here in game number 2, New York starting things off on the attacking side. And it is Priestahh with bomb in hand. And it could be Skyz who's the one to make the early entry play.
Yeah, I love this early play call from the Subliners. You know, there's not going to be any trophy systems to work with. You're going to apply the pressure towards the back, but all of Seattle were ready for that push. His accuracy and Simp combined for 2. Now you leave it up to Priestahh and HyDra to try to clutch up. All left up to HyDra now in the 1v4.
We've seen him do some crazy stuff previously, but a 1v4? Surely not. 30 seconds still left to go. Ends up gunning the first. Pred currently, I believe, has just rocked dead silence, and he's just slightly out of the play. Paco's still doing what he can, trying to use that shifty movement. Time continues to tick, but the biggest problem for him is that that bomb resides a good 20, 30 feet behind him. Tries to go for the gun engagement there onto Lamar, but I believe it is accuracy who earns that final kill, and with it, ends up having a hat trick to kick us off.
And that's where the teamwork already comes into play. Accuracy right off the rip gets the info that the pressure's coming up through the courtyard side. He allows him and Simp to set up a crossfire to find those initial couple of kills. And eventually leads to accuracy finding 3 on the round. Give him the hat trick. Seattle Surge 1-0.
If they can build upon it. I mean, if you see accuracy starting off great on a map like LSCLO, should be in for a good time. Surge fans, as we said, really clutching at any single W that they can get in Search Destroy. If their team has the ability to win searches, we know what the respawns can be. But into round 2 we go. We flip sides, and now it's Seattle starting things off. Their first look at attack here in El Asilo versus the New York front. Mack running right into mattresses. It's just a matter of time before that bomb officially gets planted.
Oh yeah, bomb's just gonna go down for free. Not a single player from New York gonna be sitting in towards the A side. That's because HyDra is already working that flank. He finds the first blood onto Simp. Now you put Subliners in the man advantage with 30 seconds left.
Priestahh able to lay down one, so now into the 3v2, now making a 1v3. Pred, last man alive, cuts away HyDra, 20 seconds to go, and a bomb that he absolutely has to defend. Can he round the corner in time? It does not look likely. Oh, not gonna occur. Bomb defused. Pred was running as fast as possible, put those trainers on, but unfortunately for him, does not get there in the nick of time. New York played the numbers right, they played the timing right, and they survive round 2. First one on the board for them.
Yeah, right there. If you're Seattle, you get all the information, especially when no player is sitting in towards the site, that they have to be committing towards one of these sides. They have to be pushing up through field, or they have to be pushing up through courtyard. But by the time they get all that info, Sid was on the rat pack to watch that field side. HyDra was already towards white. He was able to find that first blood, and that definitely caught Seattle Surge off guard. Got to be aware of those flanks as New York tied up at 1.
Next round we go, and right into the fight. Mack, oh, ends up dropping 2. That's exactly what you want to see coming in from Mack. The X factor, it feels like for Surge so often, gets a quick 2 for 1, and it's totally changed up this round for New York as Skyz instantly all alone.
Now Skyz left into 1v3, just gonna go for the chow onto Sid, but gets gunned as Seattle Surge take the round right on back. All on the back of Mack, who makes it happen in towards the A side. I thought I was going to be like Dr. Seuss or something. Like I was going to have something to follow up with Mack there, but I had absolutely nothing. But Mack takes over in the beginning of the round. Simp shuts down the rest. Seattle Surge now up 2-1.
Trying to think of something myself. I'm not getting it, Jay. I'm not getting it. I was thinking like hat trick, cat in the hat. I'm not there yet. To be continued.
Mack,
to be continued.
Yeah. Or it'll come along.
It'll come, Jay. It'll come at some point. Oh, all good. Into the next round we go. Mack with the objective at hand. And instantly off the rip, I was going to say, based off a few of those arrows, the most aggressive one by far, happens to be player 8 in HyDra. He is already working on something.
Yeah, HyDra already finds himself in towards money. Now Pred gets that info that this door is cracked, so someone has to be behind him. KiSMET does not even spot him. So Pred's thinking that the chow is going to come right back, but his teammates are working towards that bomb plan. It's going to be another 4v4 retake for New York.
Oh, and Pred right into the gun engagement. Ends up finding that one on the KiSMET. And so with that being the case, a few players popping deady. Pred still with his. Goes roaming, puts a few shots in the back of Skyz. However, he remains still intact. And with that, this round continues on. 6 players alive. Another one falls. This time it's Priestahh. Pred also drops. And now with that, New York with numbers, they've got to make their way to the site. But it's accuracy. Iceman-like ends up getting a freebie. And now it's a 1v1. As accuracy pulled off another clutch. Oh, he's doing everything he can to stay alive. But not enough. Skyz will drop him. And New York claimed the 1v1. They shut down Iceman. And from there, they claim round number 2.
And that's another retake over towards the A site. I thought accuracy had the opportunity to have the ice in his veins if he slows down that first gunfight onto HyDra. Because once you look at him, he's not sticking that defuse. So he's still playing for that kill. Could have wasted a lot more clock and at least forced the players from Subliners to continuously look for you. But once he gets that first kill, with only 11 seconds left, Skyz know we have to go for this chow. I have to win this gunfight. Eventually challenges it at the right time, wins the one-on-one.
See you, kids.
Secures the defuse. And Subliners tied up at 2. KiSMET said, I'm out of here.
I believe we're entering into a quick pause. Hey, we've not been at the better end of some of these breaks lately. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
For that, we're gonna have a quick little pause in the game. I believe everything currently sits still at 2-2. Obviously, New York, big clutching round victory, and KiSMET says, all right, time for a bathroom break.
Yeah, you got to get up and hit the reset. Just took a nice little successful retake over towards the A-bomb, but this S&D has been back and forth. Seattle Surge have been the squad early on to win their defensive rounds, and then Subliners just successful on the retakes, taking opportunities whenever they present themselves on those flanks. And I just think, like, if you are Seattle Surge, so far it's been 2 successful A-bomb plants where Subliners have had the retake. If we can do better at the setup after you get the bomb down post-plant, you should be able to walk away with the search and destroy, because Subliners haven't put any bodies in towards that A-bomb.
Yeah, it feels like this is an interesting moment in time. I know we've talked so often throughout like COD history, even CDL lately. We're like, what would a timeout be like in the middle of a search destroy game? I know there's been quite a few debates. I'm like, you know, is that something that we could maybe have at some point? We kind of get to experiment with one and see exactly how it plays out. So I believe everything is all good. And with that, pretty much acts as a quick little 30-minute timeout. And from there, we're right back into the game. As you said, Jay, a lot of opportunities, a lot of time, really for both sides to kind of figure out the strategies and really work on what they want to do here in round 5.
Yeah, this next couple of rounds is all going to be about those mid-round adjustments. They knew that Mack was a soul man last time in towards the A site. Get the information he's not in to be in there. So now you just get that bomb down for free. Now you force Seattle Surge to hit the retake.
KiSMET bomb planted, and oh my goodness, he is left in a very, very awkward spot. Skyz instantly left in a 1v4, and there's Mack already on that defuse. Accuracy on 0 for watch, but it's Skyz who gets a 2 for 1. There's no way he falls on Pred. Oh my goodness, maybe a second later. A second later, and there was maybe a chance there for Caesar to pull off something special, but Surge, too many bodies outweighing the bullets that exists on the other side, as they pretty much carve up that retaking opportunity and now put their 3rd round up.
And that's just another perfect play call right there from Seattle. They've shown early on into the map that we are playing a couple players in toward the site. That time, Subliners was playing for that player in towards bomb. They don't get that information. They go for the bomb plant. And then once that bomb gets planted, Pred strikes through the courtyard side, finds the first. Sid lines it up with the snipe. Just a really easy retake right there from Seattle Surge. Now up 3-2. And if you're hitting shots like that, let's just keep it out. Sib trying to go for another.
Oh, and it could look good. Just around the bars, this guy is able to stay alive, and it is HyDra also who's working his way up through the field side. Yeah, screw the nade. Who cares about it? But with that, Sib can have another huge impact with the sniper here. So far, not part of the thing. KiSMET tries to break the silence, but however, he eventually falls. Does work out for Priestahh to end up trading the kills. So now into the 3 versus 3. However, Seattle, they have got full field control in a B site that is waiting for it.
Yeah, all of the Subliners decided to rotate over, but it actually works right into the play because Mack decided to go for the child towards top party. Don't know why he decided to do that, but with now only 30 seconds left, the bomb's down into your enemy's base. You have so much ground to cover. Accuracy's position is known. You still have to get that bomb planted.
Accuracy nearly took down Priestahh there. Sib, who is, like we said, had so much freedom over in the field. He'll finally pick up that bomb off Mack's dead body and look to lay it down himself. So if you're New York, you know exactly where both of these final 2 players are. Simp right in your face! Ends up dropping Skyz. So with that, now into the 1v2. He's got attack and a Vaz. Everything that you need to work with to clutch out what is a 1v2, but ultimately a 1v3. Time continues to tick away, and here comes Priestahh and HyDra now.
Yeah, the Subliners are doing the buddy system. 2v1 trying to go for the double chow, but there's a lot of time winding down. Can Sib time this perfectly? No one's on the bomb, but he's going to turn the corner. He finds the first, makes it a 1v1.
Oh, and he's clutched it out, Sib! Mr. Do It All! A 1v2 that, as we said, is basically a 1v3 in that situation. Maybe not the typical weaponry, but he makes the Vaz look great. A close quarter fight, and then 2 big ones there over on the field bomb site. It felt like, Jay, it was a big mistake from Mack to go up to top party, and really from there, accuracy wastes a bit of time, but really Sib had free roam over on the top side of the map. He was able to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I think the biggest play, though, even though accuracy drops, is that the fact that he kept all the Subliners players on that side of the map and allowed Sib to get that bomb plant for free. Once you do that, by the time they get back over towards B, there's only 20 seconds left. Someone has to stick the defuse, and Sib just plays it perfectly. Not the best map number 1, but has answered the call. This map number 2, 7-2 on a 4 spree. With only a minute left on the clock, Subliners, they're playing slow. They allow Seattle Surge to get a majority of this map control, and now Mack finds himself in a great position.
Yeah, however, has revealed his position. Pred ready to sink his teeth into the New York attack as Priestahh ends up finding another. So into the 2v3 we go. It would be for a, well, now a 1v3. At least Sid was somewhat able to do it. Now, Pred, can you do it yourself? Well, he's lighting the load that much more and just manages to stay alive. So information found. And I don't believe that he spots that bomb just below him. Regardless of it, he's ready to get out of dodge and give himself a chance at another clutch.
Yeah, he at least knows where at least one player for the subliner is, as a couple shots do come in. But now he's just trying to find the timing on checking these sights. He's going to play over towards B, go for the 50-50. But it's not going to play into his hand because it's looking like Subliner's going to go towards A. No, they're actually going towards B, and Pred might have just played this beautifully.
Oh, and he can absolutely get the perfect timing as well. As he finds Skyz, he can just stay alive. He can just stay alive. HyDra from afar. Can he get here in time? Paco, did he spot him over the top rope? No, he is not going to. And it is back-to-back breakdowns here for NYSL. A huge clutch from Sib and another one here from Pred.
That's technically like 2 1v3s back-to-back. Pred just plays it beautifully. It's a 50-50 chance. Just puts himself in a position towards B. I would have liked to see HyDra go up alongside Skyz just in case you have to put yourself in a trade scenario. But once Pred gets that kill, all he has to do is play his life. HyDra is nowhere near the play. And now Seattle Surge find themselves at game point.
Surge. Oh, the places you'll go if you can start to win. Search destroys. As right now they are up big versus New York and threat of going up 2-0. And so much of it has been based off of clutches of first blood for New York. That's fine. That has not really been what's been the defining factor so far throughout this search. 3 strong still left for Seattle. Can they close it out here? There's tension. You get to join us here on El Asilo. A big moment breaking down in mattresses.
Oh, yeah, but the stun is going to connect onto Mack. Sets up HyDra to take him down. But that dead silence gets invested by Pred. He's time to strike. He's going to go for the challenge. Does a spinner Rooney for Noski. Doesn't find a kill. As the Subliners able to hold on for dear life in those final moments. Find those final couple of kills. And secure the round to stay alive. Now down 5-3. Even after Subliners are able to find the first blood, it still gets scary. But if you think about how Subliners have been losing a majority of their S&Ds as of recent, it's been all about the clutches. Stop allowing 1v3s and potential 1v4s to happen. You got to ice up in these man advantages.
Right now in this situation, as we said, I mean, New York, they catch a dub today versus Seattle. They're guaranteed winners bracket for Toronto. You're feeling great about your next match versus Breach, but everything comes to a halt. As you'd allow for quite a few of these clutches to go the opposite direction, but right into the round we go. But it's HyDra starting things off nicely. That's now 5 in a row here for the French Phenom. Bomb instantly planted. A wonderful start to this round from the Subliners.
Oh, Subliners taking the action to them, but Sib responds. He takes down Skyz, makes it a 3v3. Pred doesn't have that silence to work with, so he's just crouching around that site, waiting for his opportunity to strike. He trades 2v2 now.
Oh my god, and Pred is on the defuse. Pred is on the defuse. Sib falls. Oh, Pred hops off of it and still was alive. I thought for a moment HyDra surely took him down. Pred right back on the defuse. However, HyDra is keeping him honest. And with that, Paco hitting new levels. Drops the Aussie and keeps New York alive again.
I'm pretty sure HyDra is able to find 3 or potentially 4 on the round. He was 11-6. Yeah, he earns himself the ace. So if you want something done, you just got to do it yourself. As HyDra sitting at 15-6 on the map. See, he's given his team communication of how he wants to play this next round. Whenever you have a player standing out in search and destroy, you just got to take his play calls and run with it. Because obviously he's reading this team to a whole different level on an ace spree, as he also earns himself that cruise.
That is unbelievable work so far from HyDra. No, Nameless was talking about the incredible numbers that he's been able to put up so far in Major 5 and having another massive performance. But here comes the cruise. Skyz finds a first blood and HyDra answers back now with his 16th kill. An instant 4v2 advantage for New York.
This is total takeover right now from the French Phenom. 4v2. Left up to Mack and aBeZy. They do have the bomb in hand, but Subliners have been able to take so much ground. You have KiSMET all the way in the back of the spawn. You still have HyDra roaming around bottom mid. HyDra finds the first. Priestahh finds the second. It was just 5-2 for Seattle Surge, but the Subliners have brought it all the way back. Now going into a round 11. Confidence all on the Subliners side.
Give me your pick, Jay. Give me your pick. Does New York do it or does Seattle hold on?
I think Subliners unfortunately fall short in this round 11. Seattle Surge ice up.
Oh my word. I'm excited. We saw Boston and unfortunately lose a 5-2 comeback versus this very team in Seattle. Is Seattle about to allow for that to happen to them? We will find out and take a look at those round 11 records. They are not pretty. But into OT we go. One round to decide it all. Does Seattle go up 2-0? Or can New York make the comeback? It's Seattle on the attacking side. And it is patient play. To no one's surprise here in our final round.
Yeah, Subliners are just playing a default setup. They want to make sure all of their flanks are covered, because so far their success has been on the retakes over towards A. As the bomb is now starting to get planted, KiSMET with the movement is able to get the first kill onto Pred, but now it's just 3v4. Seattle have to clutch up.
The biggest part is, like you said, KiSMET ends up staying alive. So right now for New York, you've got the numbers, but it's about time to get a move on. Dead silence popped. KiSMET around the corner. Shots exchanged. They continue to raid, and KiSMET another big one. They're on to accuracy. Not a chance. And Priestahh finds another. It's all on to Simp. Oh, and HyDra is able to take it. Finishes with 18 kills. And New York make a wild 5-2 comeback. You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm sorry to all the Subliners fans for not believing in that round 11. But what a comeback from New York. To be down 5-2, you need someone to give you a spark. It is no better player to do it than HyDra. The French Phenom goes on a 10 spree in this search and destroy. Ends the map with 18. He almost just broke the record all time for how many kills you were able to drop in search and destroy. Actually goes on an 11 spree. My bad for cutting you short. But HyDra just absolutely took over in this search and destroy. Completely shuts down the aggression from Mack and Pred in those final rounds. Goes on an 11 spree. Brings it back with the cruise missile. Everything was going right for the Subliners. Besides those 1v2 or 1v3 clutches, this round count would look completely different. But the Subliners, they ice up. More specifically, HyDra takes over, and they tie the series now, up at 1.
That was one of my favorite search destroys on the season. Talk about highlight play after a highlight play. Meanwhile, it is HyDra who answers emphatically here in the game 2. Says, Pred, your hardpoint performance was nice, but I'm breaking records out here. As you said, Jay, most S&D kills on a map this season, and just tied it for CDL history with Insight back in Cold War. It was his debut series. I want to say it was on a Miami back in the day. I think, Jay, you and I actually had that cast, Insight's debut.
Probably.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But, man, it has been, it's been frustration. It's been annoyance, it feels like, for New York to have allowed so many clutches to go the opposite direction. But this time, Jay, it is them who end up icing up.
They ice up, bro. And now they tie the series of at 1. They're going into the control map that they haven't played in a month. So you got to be feeling good if you're Subliners.
Yeah, you do indeed. I believe it was Ali at the start of the day who was talking about this very matchup and highlighted Hotel Control as the one to watch, as we've got both of our squads level at 1. You are absolutely going to want to stay with us as Seattle and New York continues here in the swing mode right after this.
The Call of Duty Week is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. And upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the CDL. The CDL is brought to you by your favorite Orange Bandicoot. Pre-order Crash Team Rumble today. Available June 20th.
How's it going, friends, and welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you missed a historical performance. Take a look at the numbers here from HyDra. Paco absolutely took over in the 5-2 comeback that NYSL had on the LSilo versus Seattle. Goes 18-6, breaking this year's Search Destroy record and tying the all-time S&D kill record in one map of Search Destroy. That was a long-winded way to say it, Jay, but my word, that was utterly impressive. HyDra hitting new levels in Search.
Yeah, that was total takeover right there to HyDra. He said, if you want something done, you gotta get it done yourself. And he goes on an 11-3 in that S&D. Eventually close it out in a 6-5, breaks the record, or at least ties it with insight so far throughout the CDL. But now we go into the map number 3, where I think whoever wins this map wins the series. On the opposite side, you see the stats for Subliners, 11-5. One of the best, if not the best attacking team, going up against one of the best, or one of the teams that used to be one of the best on the attacking side for Seattle Surge. So it's going to be a battle, man. Seattle Surge, this used to be their bread and butter, but they're 1-4 in their last 5 times they have played Hotel Control. And the reason why is because they haven't found any success on their attacking grounds. Not a single one in the last 4 times that they have played.
Yeah, that's really wild. Like, this was even the recipe that Surge had back when this team originally formed in Vanguard. It was like their ability to just win attacks. Like, I remember on Tuscan at the start of the year, it was Gavutsu. Like, on this year, it's Hotel Control. They just managed to figure out how to win attacks. Asim with some shifty movement stays alive. But lately, it's not been great. But here in the round number 1, it's looked pretty squeaky clean. Wonderful work so far at this B zone, as they have pretty much locked this one up. Guaranteed, and Pred is dropping them from behind.
Oh yeah, B's already gone. Seattle Surge, no. We're the team on the attacking round. First off, Subliners have no trophies, so we're going to spam our attacks, stack the point, and extend this time by a minute. As they find themselves up 24-20 in the lives department. With 2 minutes to work with, all it need is 1 set of kills. And Pred is not slowing down. Finds himself on 5-3 before he does get cut. And now it allows Subliners to maintain that right side of the map, put South Core Kitchen, and allow Seattle Surge to now overextend.
Sometimes, Jay, you just kind of question, you kind of wonder, how is the team going to reply after dropping a 5-2 lead? They're going to play a little more passive, or they're going to go for ego chows. Well, I think it's fair to say we know exactly how Seattle's feeling after that last map loss. They are ticked off and ready to end round number 1 as fast as humanly possible. Accuracy with some beams. It's a 3-man stack inside of the point. Sib watching out on the outside. He eventually falls, but that's nearly the whole round done and dusted. 4 down, and Surge answer emphatically here in round 1.
Oh, Seattle Surge coming diff today, man. They're coming diff. They complete that B segment. They extend time by a minute. And all they need is 1 break in.
Oh, goodness.
Towards the diner. The stack is in. Pred, Mack, and Accuracy all snaking away behind the diner. Eventually allow Seattle Surge to dominate on the opening attack round. Something that they have not seen a lot of success as of recent. They go up 1-0.
That's what you want to see, man. That's what you want to see if you're a Surge fan. Like, okay, well, my team just lost a 5-2 lead. Our spirit's going to be higher and low. Yeah, they're just fine. They are absolutely fine. The king of confidence, Mr. Pred, right, running forward. He's actually one that finally finds a kill with the dead silence pop. The hip fire works out nicely for him. However, the rest of his teammates not able to say a whole lot. They also will end up falling, and from there, New York, pretty easy time as it's KiSMET, the man left inside of the objective, and well, it's the rest of his teammates having a great time around the map.
Yeah, KiSMET's just capping it by himself. His teammates know what they need to do, where they need to apply the pressure. They know Seattle Surge is going to decide to chalk that one up. HyDra did invest that dead silence, but now it runs out. So he's slowly trying to work his way up the flank. He has attack 56 in hand. Just ready for a couple gunfights because you know where Seattle Surge are coming from. But A is going to be done and dusted. All of the Subliners going to be taking control of the middle of the map, applying pressure through the back end because HyDra, he's getting so much info. He's going to allow his teammates to go for that pinch.
See if this works out. He's gonna be ready for accuracy. Oh, the timing works out perfectly there for Paco. Priestahh finds another transition kill, and now the only 2 players alive currently for Seattle are 2 that are left inside a bedroom. Now through the mid cross we go. HyDra up top is Peak, watching forward. A few nades actually end up spoiling the party for both sides. So Seattle from one direction, New York from the other. Time by no means a factor, as now HyDra has earned a cruise missile.
No, he did it with the TAC-56 as well, but right there, Subliners had a lot of map control. They just did not decide to hop that point. They only allowed 1 player to hop on it. And at that point, with it going up so slow, Seattle Surge were able to retake map control through the middle of the map, keep them off the point. Now win a couple gunfights to take control of their side. Now 1:30 left on the clock. The Subliners trying to fight for bedroom control. You have a couple players from Seattle Surge already in great positions. As Priestahh finds himself with the Vaznev in hand, he gets cut down by Pred. So far, Seattle Surge holding strong on the defense.
Oh, and KiSMET just gets Pred right in his face. And from there, Skyz not able to win his fight toward the back. So some big kills going the way of Seattle as Mack continues to try and maintain top bedroom control. Looking to get shifty and keep New York guessing. His aggression actually will end up not working out for him in the end. And from there, Pred also falls to the front line of Surge as instantly dropped. We'll see what New York can do, as now a lot of the pressure begins to fall onto Simp's shoulders as he remains true. New York, a lot of work still to do. 40 seconds on the clock. Can they finally make it through this very difficult Seattle defense?
And right now, the Subliners, they have bedroom control. You also have Skyz on the middle towards checkout desk, but he cannot win a gunfight. That's such a powerful position. Over towards mid checkout. If you're trying to complete this B capture, KiSMET does take down 2, but Simp still the sole main hand, trying to keep them off the point. He finds a second. He sets up Pred for the 3rd. There's only 1 player here left for the Subliners. A teammate does come in, but position known. And with only 20 seconds left, Seattle just need 1 more set of kills, and the round is theirs.
All eyes on Surge. It's their round to lose. 1 player in the back. HyDra's able to win it, and from there, he directs all the arrows onto him. And because of that, Priestahh gets a freebie. HyDra!
Oh my!
HyDra again! It's gonna jump right on that point. There's only 1 player here for the time, and that is Mack. That zone begins to fly. He has to go for a chow. He's able to win it over the top. It doesn't matter. HyDra just took over again.
How does he get away with this, Lando? Like, you know where HyDra's gonna be at. He wins the first insane gunfight versus Mack. All of his teammates drop around him, but he times it perfectly to win another 2 gunfights towards the mid-arch. Once you get that set of kills, that's all 4 dead in the feed. All of Seattle spawning all the way across the map. Subliners just had to stack it in those final moments to close out the round. Would look like to be a Seattle Surge potentially going up 2-0. Subliners snatch it right back from them, just like they did in the Search and Destroy, to now tie it up at 1.
My God, I saw HyDra there in the player cams. He was talking to his teammates.
He's talking a little smack. Yep.
Yep. He was letting him know. He basically said, "I destroyed Seattle" in the later stages of that round. We'll go and pardon his French for the moment, but thankfully we weren't able to hear it. Although I would have liked to. But just again, another takeover moment there from HyDra. Is like you said, man, he single-handedly steals that round number 2 away. Very difficult series so far for Seattle after the opening hardpoint victory, but right now they're sitting pretty well in this control. 1 player does fall off the B zone, and from there, that is a quick 3. So Seattle had 2 players on both A and B, and now they all get wiped away. From there, 3 off a spawn. Priestahh ends up finding 2 in a row. HyDra ends up finding the other 2, so it's another 4 down, and Surge instantly brought back to their base.
Yeah, all of Surge coming off their spawn. Had to try to figure out where their plan of attack is, because it was a 2-2 split. 2 players towards back bed, 2 players towards back kitchen. Right now, the Subliners just maneuvering around the map, slaying when it was needed, and just keeping them off of these points, forces Seattle Surge to commit towards either one of these sites. But they cannot get out of their base, man. They cannot find a couple key kills to get eliminated. But now with Pred winning that 1-on-1, A should be done and dusted. Time extended by a minute. And if you are the Subliners, you have bedroom control. You're currently up by 4 lives. It's just all about holding strong on this setup.
And by the way, Jay, HyDra also now 1 kill away from another cruise missile, and that's guaranteed. Oh, actually, no, it's one more kill, and he's got it under wraps. I apologize. One more to go, and that one belongs to him. It's a gunfight on Depred, and there it is. Another cruise missile here for the Frenchman.
Oh my God!
Stunned. He is still finding players. And take a look at that dent in the lives remaining. 8 versus 18. NYSL, this is your round to lose. However, Jay, this game so far has been about clutches. It's been about comebacks. This would definitely be one of the more impressive ones of the game if Surge could come away with this.
And the only opportunity they have right now is with accuracy sitting towards back spa. He's blocking those spawns for the Subliners. If his team is able to get a couple kills, he can potentially stack on this point. But the lives are getting cut down. KiSMET knows it's time to strike. No more respawns remaining. Goes for the Tau onto the second. That's another 3 dead. And accuracy, he's been staying alive so long towards back spawn. It doesn't make a difference as the Subliners come out and dominate on this defensive round. HyDra earns himself another cruise missile, doesn't even have to invest it. But HyDra right now, he's just playing on a different level, man. He is taking over this series, map after map, round after round. Doesn't even matter if it's a different mode. The man is locked in right now.
I'll tell you what, man, I know we talked a lot coming into this series about how both, Pred and HyDra, to be specific, the two guys on the right side of the screen have had, their issues in getting into the MVP conversation. And I know HyDra's definitely more in favor of getting maybe that nod. But this is a series where you look at it and you're like, how do you not have this guy in a conversation like this? I mean, just completely taking over right now in a massive series versus a very talented Seattle Surge team. Lighting it up in the search. And now doing the dirty here in the control. As into this round we go, and it is New York with full control over that B zone. It's just a matter of time. Priestahh, snake. Oh my! Vaznev in hand. He's done it with a sub in his prior career, and now he's doing it again. 2 minutes on the clock, and here comes the cruise. Hey, look at that spree again from HyDra.
Yeah, HyDra's about to overlap. You gotta get rid of this cruise missile because you can't have 2 in your back pocket. He's sitting at 30 and 13. 1 kill over finding another cruise. Can he do it? The dead silence is invested. He finds the time and arc and accuracy, and he's not slowing down. HyDra, Taco, the French phenom. He's doing it all. That's another 3 dead in the feed. Subliners going to close it out right now.
Wipe him off the map. Get him off the screen. HyDra dominating here versus Seattle as he takes over again. He is letting them know, and he's letting his teammates know that he is him. He is the man, and there is nobody in the world who could stop him right now. 33 and 13, 3K damage. Dominance on display once more, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of a series and a takeover like this as New York and HyDra now have won back-to-back maps and are 1 away from closing out the series.
This is absurd, bro. Like, let me tell you right now, Lando, this is insane. It's like there's 3 people on the map for Subliners. They're all putting up like around even numbers. But then there's a superhero on the map. Dun, 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 dun. He's taking over in the last 2 maps right now for the Subliners. Yeah, you better get up out your chair after this damn map because he's doing it all. You better give him the high praise because right now HyDra is playing at a completely different level. I said that the map 3 was going to be able to decide the series for me. And with Subliners taking it, whenever they take control versus the Seattle Surge, they win the series. It only happened once throughout the season, but that is usually the deciding factor of who is going to be able to walk away with the dub. As the Subliners find themselves up 2-1, HyDra is shooting and playing out of his mind right now. And now they're going into literally their best hard point on HyDra, where they have an 8-2 record. This should be done if you are the Subliners.
I'm calculating it. It's a 1.78 KD. Yo. So far here for HyDra. And Jay, he's put up 82 kills through 3 maps.
Nah, man.
82. It was 31, I think, in the Opening hard point, we just saw him put up 33 in the control and 18 in the search. 82 and 46 through 3 maps. As he is having a blast, and so is the rest of the teammates, man. New York is loving watching their boy fry.
Yeah, and if you're Seattle Surge, you just gotta shake your head, bro. You have no idea what's going on. No one just find a trade onto HyDra. I'm pretty sure he's able to go on 2 different 8 streaks throughout that game. Overlaps on cruise missiles.
Was it 3 or 4 cruises?
Nah, I think he got like 2. Well, potential. He might have had 17.
I think he
the
got
way that his gun was shooting.
He got a third.
Way that his gun was shooting, Lando. He's shooting nukes, brother. Like, he's a guy 2.54 in the control. He had more kills than 2 of his teammates combined, bro. That is insane stuff out of the French phenom.
That is ungodly. Oh my word. HyDra. Statue is already I believe the plans are actually already being made, Jake. The plans are already set in play. We're making a blueprint right now. HyDra statue about to be constructed outside of the Subliner headquarters. And now with the HyDra hardpoint up next. I mean, we talked about it, right? Seattle came out, gave it their best effort in that round 1, right?
Yeah.
We were discussing it. We were saying, you know what? This is a team who was still confident. They were ego challenged. Pred was feeling really good. Solid opening attack. It felt like you really got your best version of Seattle after a frustrating loss. And then from that round forward, you just see a total takeover. I mean, your mental has got to be tested right now if you're Seattle, especially knowing that you have another map to face off against with HyDra. And if HyDra's feeling like this, feeling confident like this, I mean, this could be another takeover map where HyDra just does it all.
And that's the opportunity that New York now have, is that they're going into one of their best hard points throughout the season, and we're expecting them to fall off a little bit. Now, I don't expect that. With the way that they're currently playing, all the 3 other guys got to do is do the 25%. HyDra, he's overachieving right now with about 65% of the plays he's doing right now. He's doing them by his damn self. So if you are Seattle Surge, I know the last 2 maps have been tough, but it's just one key factor. Find a trade onto HyDra, and you will be able to force a game 5.
And Jay, if you are Seattle in this situation, right, backs against the wall, we're talking about how they could start off 1-3 and Røkkr here in Major 5, a matchup tomorrow versus Vegas. A very solid chance that they maybe do not make winner's bracket when it comes down to Major 5. What do you say if you're Seattle when you know that it's one player, right? When it's one guy taking over, is it a matter of like trying to focus on that one guy? Do you just try to get it out of mind? Like, what is the focal point for Seattle coming into this game 4, knowing that HyDra's on a heater?
Yeah, it's never focusing around one player, because when you put too much focus around HyDra, that's probably what your comm's going to be like. You're not aware of anybody else. So it's just sticking to the game plan, sticking to the GP on GD, and you saw it in full display in map number 1. That's simply outclassing Subliners in these rotations, where Subliners on HyDra are the #1 rotation team and the #1 hold team. That's what Seattle Surge have to do. Win those rotations and set up on these hills.
Okay, and we'll see if they'll be able to do it. I know we talked a lot about Seattle. We've dissected their hard point. We've talked about the rotations. We've talked about their holds, everything, and pretty much anything in between. But are you ready for KiSMET? As he erupts for a few inside of the middle of the map. No one actually yet to get on the board. It is a clean 0-0 game, as both teams very much so looking to hold on to those P2 spawns. Right now we're to surge with it, and we'll see if those holds can be solid as someone finally is able to hop on the hard point. And no surprise, it's KiSMET who does it.
Yeah, and the holds for Seattle Surge, though, on this map are sitting at 11th. HyDra with the movement, with the belly flop midair, as at least able to take down Mack, but has nothing to show for it. As the Seattle Surge, we're doing a great job of maintaining those spawns towards the back end of P2. Now they're going to be able to take the lead, even though it's a slight one for now. But now with KiSMET in his position, he's setting up this pinch. The rest of Subliners attacking through the front. This might be the break that the Subliners are looking for.
Oh, this is total blown coverage out of Seattle. Worth the nameless. I mean, HyDra ends up running to the front. It's KiSMET who makes the water route from the back. I think Seattle were aware of the spawns that New York were having, but they left a huge lane open for KiSMET to make the water route. And now with 20 seconds remaining, all of it is going to belong to the Subliners, up a decent amount as we head in toward P3. And would you believe it, HyDra, the sole man behind enemy lines, can he make another huge play again?
Yeah, just trying to find the timing. He's playing it super patient. He's gonna hit a different route because Seattle Surge knows they're trying to locate where HyDra is. but there's no way you expect them to come out towards side pipes. You have a teammate already pushed up through the front, so you're thinking everything is covered through the front end. But now it's time for HyDra to strike. He finds the first kill. He knows that Pred is still pushed out towards the front. He's just roaming around trying to find a couple kills.
What?
Eventually he does take down Mack, and he's still alive. Someone trade him.
I was gonna say, if you're Seattle, you're just like, where is he? Like, where has he been? It's like a solid 45 seconds. How is he above us? How is he side pipes? How is HyDra in the water? Unbelievable stuff. And now it is accuracy. Pretty much the soulmate alive inside of the hard point. It was at least a bit of early time here for Seattle, but it's New York who have broken late. Pred, I believe, Jay, ends up earning that cruise missile. So at least if you are Seattle, you're going to have that to roam forward with. Yeah, so he does earn it. But now the race is over toward the path. Who can get there first? And right now it is Surge with numbers as we rotate.
And now it's HyDra in a position again to make the play. Trying to put the pressure towards the back end. Can't win the one-on-one versus Mack. But he's potentially going to set up KiSMET, who works his way on the opposite side of the water. Now that's 3 dead in the feed. Mack's the only player here for Seattle Surge. The rest of his teammates spawning out. Pred knows that we have to invest this cruise missile to relieve some of that pressure on Mack. But it doesn't find anything. Subliners get the perfect break. And now this 35 seconds is looking like it's going to go their way.
Yeah, and somehow the New York boys end up staying alive inside of the ruins. A missile coming right at them, but they hold on behind all of the rubble. Impressive stuff again from New York. Battle tested.
Get out!
KiSMET, a little bit rough. It's a little tough, but it works out perfectly. The flank is inbound, and from there, KiSMET, well, he is off to see something else. Instantly going for the water route, hitting the canals, hitting the channels, anything and everything and in between. Going to cause some disarray. And disarray he will cause another one here for Kiz.
And this is what KiSMET does, man. He's just such a nuisance around those water routes. He keeps you looking for ghosts on the map. When he finds that kill, he relieves some of the pressure in towards the point. Even though the spawns are in towards the back, still for Seattle Surge. You haven't found a trade off the HyDra. Finally, you take him down. But at what cost? Subliners are still going to be here contesting.
And KiSMET still alive. He's been on this route and reaches right into the face of Simp. Ends up dropping him, and from there, and now he's one away from a cruise missile. We've been giving so much love to HyDra, but you gotta take a look at what KiSMET is doing on the map. Stunned. No cruise missile for him, but he has absolutely left an impact here on the first side of rotations. But thankfully for Seattle, they've got him in the backside of the spawn, so we'll see what they can do with it. Down big, but they've got good map positioning currently.
Yeah, now we go back over towards the P1. Seattle Surge have more bodies on that side of the map, so they're going to be the team initially set up. Just try to get themselves back into this game. But you have to win a couple key gunfights to go in favor of Priestahh. So now all of Subliners attacking from multiple different angles. Seattle Surge spawning towards the back. Subliners eventually find the break. But they're more focused on maintaining these spawns, and they do just that. Skyz with a huge one-on-one.
Wow.
KiSMET finds another 2. Subliners get the break, and they flip the spawns.
Yeah, and that could be the moment right there, Jake. That could be the moment where we're going back and watching what really defined this map. It could be that quick spawn flip that New York are able to earn now for P2, one of the most valuable hard points, not just on this map, but in this game. And right now, New York are in possession of it. And with 15 seconds left, it's going to be up to Mack to make the play. KiSMET stays alive. Mackenzie trying to do the same thing right now for the teammates, but all 3 arrows converge. Mack falls. Simp drops from long range. And now that scoreline is starting to grow more and more. Another cruise missile now on the back of Skyz. And now this is where things begin to get difficult if you're a Surge fan.
Yeah, this is where New York can blow this game wide open. You had Skyz going a nice little streak, earns himself that cruise missile. But this is where the Subliners usually tend to dominate. Whenever they are set up properly around these hills, #1 in hold percentage. They're continuously growing this lead. There's one player here to contest. It's going to be Simp, but he can't win the one-on-one. So still, Subliners with more bodies on this side of the map. They're just growing this lead more and more as the game goes on.
Now it's Caesar up to 8 in a row. As you said, Jay, the lead continues to expand. It continues to grow. 20 seconds left. Accuracy, Seattle. Giving everything they've got. And New York, streak after streak after streak. Accuracy holds on, but now it's a matter of the rotation. One that you have to have if you're Seattle. But can New York make them pay again? Let's step aside and go to the comms. How are New York sounding?
I spawned back.
Missing pred.
Block whoever's behind me.
I am.
You went dead. One more top.
That's him. That's all.
Top B is dead.
Nice. Get time.
Somebody bump.
Run if you spawn. Go. One's from P1. From the going top. They're all gonna be front. They're all gonna be front. Maybe we'll take it right. One more bridge.
Yeah. Absolute bridge.
Lemon put. I'm bumping. We'll go get your outer. I'll get your outers. I gave you P5. I'm your outer pipes.
I'm near your front door.
I'm on shot.
Front door 100%.
Outer.
Front door right now. This
Outer
one shot dead. No one top.
Nice. We flip them here
Top
too.
weak. I'm watching top weak. Really weak. I'm already top.
I kill him. Bottom. Hey, look at one behind.
Bottom one shot me. Back on me. Back door.
Get kills. Paco. This fucking.
Back door. Oh my god. Hard blocking P2. I'm hard blocking P2. You're so good.
Get time.
You want me to shake? I'm shaking a row. I heard you were
one behind me. I'm on shot.
I'm shaking now. Stay alive, guys. Low cat. Alright, here.
Left on me then.
Alright, close these guys. Low left on you. Kiss. Low cat dead. Nice. No one P5. I'm gonna shake P5. He's going top on you.
Yeah, we're pushing out. Counter block.
I'm blocking.
Between them.
I'm blocking boys.
P5
spawns.
Yeah, keep holding your back.
Front of me, guys.
I'm
front broken. Low left. They're on me, guys. Get my mid. Low left.
I have it.
I'm watching how getting back. I'm back first. We're good. Low left. Cat's under your kill. Alright, low left. I'm still in the back of that guy. Cat, stun on the front.
Oh, he got me. Yeah, that's 2. Alright, they all spawned back. We're good.
We're here.
Go straight too. You want
to me here?
Actually, with 30 seconds, we're good.
Broken on me. Watch that.
Back P2, Mack, one shot. He's rotating P1.
I'll pick
Rotating for P1. Someone pick that up. I understand. Only one.
I got him.
Push hold.
I'll see him. Got him.
Stay top.
Back right now. In the back, one shot. One got rock. We're outer, got rock. One of the other.
I'm rotating. One more time. Nice.
No one here.
Oh
my god.
I got
P1. Slammed him. I have scrap, bro.
Yeah, I'll block near. Yeah, I'm shaking. I'm taking info for you. All the back. One's in all. One's got rock. One's P1. 3 more.
I don't see P1.
Just HyDra things going off again, and the rest of the teammates are having a ball. They're giving call-outs. The communication's great, but everybody's just like, HyDra, you do you. Have yourself a ball. Do what you need to. Another takeover moment as Seattle finally are able to get the break, but New York are having a blast right now.
Oh yeah, they're having a blast. Communication is on point. HyDra is directing every single player on what they need to watch. And the rest of his teammates are just gassing him up. HyDra, you are the best player in the game. You are doing everything. You are unkillable. He's getting all the premium gas right now from his teammates as he was able to earn himself that cruise missile. But Seattle Surge so far with a great response. I thought it was going to get out of hand because they were the team that was swanning towards the back of P4 with about 5 to 10 seconds left. But they find a break on towards P5. They keep getting closer and closer, keeping this game on point. But now we head to the third rotation of hard points where the Subliners have been dominant on the P1 to P2 chain. And we don't have a pistol. Let's bring a knife to a gunfight. KiSMET takes him down. Subliners fully set up to potentially close it out here.
Oh, KiSMET mermaid-like distracted Pred with his beauty, and then just pops up with a knife. Stabby stab inside of the water. And now with that, HyDra is the one smelling blood in the water.
Hello.
Oh, nearly had the turn on. They're on to Pred. The Aussie staying alive with 1 HP, and that's what it feels like Surge have been holding on to throughout this entire game, hanging on by a thread. 20 seconds still to play for. Seattle with P1 control, but it's about this rotation. They need a break.
They need to find a break. It all starts with a couple gunfights, though, and none of them are going in their favor. As that's a clean 4 dead for the Subliner. You're setting all of Seattle Surge off the spawn. Mack's the first player here, but the Subliners fully set up to close out the game at P2. They're creating latest through the middle of the map. Pred just trying to be the hero, going for the route. His best Michael Phelps impression.
Yeah, this may be, I mean, the one player that could potentially do something. This is the life, and KiSMET and Skyz there to drop him within 15 seconds of this series being done. It's been a statement so far here for New York, and everybody is having their piece of the pie. Their celebration type of moment. It is New York who answer back with 3 straight games and shut down Surge on their way to locking up winner's bracket at Major 5.
Subliners just came out and had some serious clutch to them today. If you think about that map number 2, down 5-2, you got 1v3 to back-to-back rounds, but you still somehow, some way put it together to clutch up there to tie the series up at 1. All on the back of HyDra, who takes over, drops 18 kills on that map number 2. But then when you get to that control, this is where Seattle Surge, they had to be able to show something. Hotel used to be their best control map, but then now their last 6 times they are 1-5. And a lot of that L streak is due to their lack of success on their attacking round. We saw them take 1 here today, but every time they had to clutch up on defense, they could not get it done. Another HyDra takeover. And then when you get to the map number 4, I thought Seattle Surge played it great, especially early on into the game. They were able to keep Subliners off of the P1. They were in the great position to get that much needed time over towards P2. But when they were not able to read the water routes that were coming out of the Subliners SMG players, that's what really caused them problems. They were searching for HyDra in multiple different situations. They were searching for KiSMET in multiple different situations. Every time they were trying to find them, they lost that initial gunfight, which allowed the Subliners to put themselves in the advantage off the trades and eventually lead to a lot of successful breaks. We were thinking Seattle Surge, we're going to have a slow start because they played OpTic and Toronto, 2 of the toughest teams we have. But they fall short again to the Subliners. Now that puts them at 1-3. And I really don't know now if Seattle Surge even have an opportunity to make winners bracket now with their horrible, horrible map count. But we will have to see. Subliners dominated in this series. More specifically, HyDra.
That's exactly right, man. Finishes off with 110 kills through just 4 maps. Absolutely unbelievable. I'd actually love to hear the desk touch on this about like whether or not this series for HyDra maybe gets it back in that MVP conversation. But Chris, take it away, man. What a game that was.
Best player in the league argument, again, I think.
He's unbelievable. I mean, I've always considered HyDra one of the absolute best. I mean, his ability to go out there and just find kills, extend plays is unbelievable. But before we get to the New York stuff, we just got to talk about Seattle, I feel like, for a second, man. Like,
okay, hit me with it.
At some point, like, you got to look at each other and just realize, hey, man, this is just simply not working. Like, you can go back and you can look at all these situations where it could have gone different, where you could have won 1 map and been in a winner's final or won 1 gunfight. Like, that's cool and all, but when you go into these games and you got one guy going out there giving you 40 to win a map, and you're getting 5 to come back down and search and destroy, letting guys go in your base. Like, there's simple things.
Look at this.
I mean, this is a big play. Like, we're sitting there in the green room, we're watching these guys play, and we're like, how are you not watching the water there? You saw KiSMET drop into it. You know he's going to be trying to make a play on the rotation. It just seems like as these losses sort of pile on, guys like aBeZy and Mack are going to continue to play bad because of the narrative within the community, and then also with the frustrations within the actual team. You're going to start to lose confidence. Feel like you cannot win these games, right? So for Seattle, man, they're between a rock and a hard place at the moment.
Soul-crushing series for the Seattle Surge. On the other side, Subliners all smiles. And I don't think I've seen Paco this excited. The man was standing up after he dropped those bombs.
And I mean, rightfully so, right? I mean, an insane series out of HyDra. We know that he's capable of doing stuff like this. He's done it in the past, but I think this stands out his top performance that we have seen from him. I mean, the Search and Destroy, he single-handedly won that and made the comeback for the New York Subliners. And for Seattle Surge, that's spelled worst case scenario because like I said in the pre-match setup, they did not want to get to that HyDra map 4, and if they had to go to it, it had to at least be able to push it to a game number 5 because HyDra was New York Subliners map. That is what we saw as well in that game number 4. KiSMET abusing the water routes as we know they tend to do. It's just about VOD review at that point. Like, I would personally never want to load against New York Subliners on HyDra.
Well, when you think about it, like we talked about it in the map bans, we could talk about this series for so long, but like they get rid of Mercado Hardpoint, a map that New York is 6-4 on, where it's like, it's pretty good, but then you go into the series and you got to play 2 maps they're dominant on. I mean, 6-2 on either of them respectively for the season, and also that control. New York might be the best hotel control team in the game, and you get in a situation where you don't want to play Expo, so you go there. So on top of the chemistry issues, you also have a map pull issue if you're the Seattle Surge too. So just kind of getting exposed. But New York deserve all the love in the world. Incredible series, especially from HyDra.
1-3 now as Seattle Surge. New York improves to 3-1, and it's time to take a look at some of the best plays from this series. It's your scope play of the game, and it comes from the one and only French phenom. He deserves a quiche for a performance like this, Allie?
I'm surprised it's not just a highlight of the entire series. Of course, it's got to be the search and destroy. Once again, I mean, he just put this entire map on his back. 11 spree, 1v3s galore. I mean, there was nothing he could not do in this series. And it was a huge momentum flip as well. So for New York Subliners, having a guy like this, I mean, untradeable.
You know, Allie, well, when you go bottom mid and they keep giving you one-on-one like 10 feet away, you're probably going to go on an 11 streak, which is kind of what we saw.
He used a missile.
Yeah, he did use a missile. You got to kill him Pred inside there. I mean, just an absolute breakdown by Seattle. HyDra, Pop and Daddy extending plays, running away. Like, he was finding a kill by Kegs, then running out to Courtyard and finding another kill. I don't know how he's able to do it.
It's time for our Monster Energy Winner Spotlight. We have the one and only Caesar Skyz joining us live. And I got to ask you, Skyz, right away, what did Paco say at the end of that S&D? The man was standing up and yelling in the room.
I don't even know, to be honest. I blacked out. Like, I don't know what he had for breakfast, but like whatever routine he did today, he needs to do that again.
Did he have a McDonald's Coke or no?
Paco, did you have a McDonald's Coke today? He said no.
Did he have a Gatorade?
He had a Gatorade. No, he had a Monster.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
It was a Gatorade?
Oh, he had a Monster.
Monster Energy. I was going to say, y'all about to get fired. Skyz, let's talk a little bit about this series, though, my friend. 3-1. How did you guys mount that comeback, and when did you know this series was yours?
Like in the S&D, like, bro, we got to stop getting clutched on. I feel like we're feeding people 1v4s. What is that, the third now? Jesus Christ, but I feel like we realized, like, we were just getting clutched on, and, like, there's, like, no energy, and then, like, out of nowhere, like, when it was 2-5, 1 around, we started, like, locking back in, like, getting energy, and then, like, getting turning. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Skyz, what is it like having a sub like HyDra on your team? I feel like this is the first time you've been in a situation where you've had such a dominant SMG in that top 2 conversation during a game.
It's got like the past few years, I feel like it had to be like a super fast AR. Now I went from like pretty fast or like decently fast to like just iron and blocking just because like and let them piece, bro. So I'm just trying to set them up and let them fry.
Skyz, it's been cool to sort of watch your guys' progression. You know, after Major 1, you guys had a couple dips throughout the next few majors, but you guys have fixed something with each and every split that we've had. How do you feel like you compare to your Major 1 run right now?
Major 1, if I would say like a percentage of where we are from Major 1, I feel like 80% there. I feel like we're starting to get a better map pool, fixing our S&D, just stop getting 1v4, Jesus Christ. And then we're getting really good at control again, and our hardpoint's pretty solid right now.
Nice.
But I mean, we're just gonna mold it into like a better form like for champs.
Guys, what caught me off guard was seeing the stats coming into this matchup. We all know that OpTic and FaZe and Toronto, the other top 3 teams, they have their peaks and their valleys across game modes. You guys are 4th best across all 3 game modes. Does that give you an edge, or do you feel that puts you at a disadvantage when teams could be a little bit better than you in hardpoint, control, or search?
I think it gives us an edge. It makes us like more confident, more comfortable in every mode. It's like in scrims, like we've been playing everybody in scrims like pretty fucking good lately. Oh my god, forgive me. But yeah, we've been slowly working on everything. Just like trying to set my teammates up, and yeah.
Nice.
Crushing it, my friend. We're going to let you go. That is Caesar Skyz. Follow him on Twitter for the best content on the internet.
And give 5 to twitch.tv/Skyz.
There you go. 5 gifted to that man right there, running the AR.
I love the
while
plug.
his SMG's fried. New York Subliners picking up a 3rd victory here in the qualifiers. And looking forward, they have just one more team to beat. You got Boston in your way. Does this mean Subliners could be fighting for a top 2 seed?
Yes.
Yeah, look, smiles. Look, you said they were smiling after this win. It's the smiles that we drew on the paper before the series started.
It
we
all
had the
comes
script.
back together. Let's take a look back at the start of the day, though. Florida faced London, and while a lot of people thought this was going to go Florida's way, I don't think anyone expected London to go down as quickly as they did. The Mutineers taking care of business after a slow start to the matchup. Vehicle and crew, they just got it done again, Ann.
Talk about unleashing the beast. This was an insane performance by the Florida Mutineers. I said it after their last win that we saw them have versus LA Thieves. They literally look like OpTic Texas. We're in 3 respawns against Thieves, and they come into this one. And I don't care that it's the Royal Ravens. You guys can roast them however hard you want, but they destroyed them, dismantled them. We know Royal Ravens are coming into this. We saw the tweet. They were trying to play spoiler. No, Florida Mutineers win this. They secure winner's bracket, and everybody looked great in doing so.
And they're the only team that didn't ruin my pick'ems today as we go to LA Thieves versus Minnesota. But
what went wrong here?
I do have to tip my hat to the Minnesota Røkkr, though. I mean, there is about a question mark, you know, after a roster change like that. and for the fact that they benched Afro. And that's obviously a lot of question marks because he was at SMG at the beginning of the season. You know, we were talking about Afro. He had an insane online performance and then went to LAN and also translated it there. So to see them find success so early against a team like LA Thieves is huge, not only for their confidence, but also for the standings as well.
The storylines! We still have a story going into Toronto. Who is going to steal that 8th seed and lock in their final spot at champs? Boston's not safe, and you have to think Minnesota, after their showing today, they're playing with nothing but confidence in their final match.
100%. I mean, we talked about it, like, this change just seemed like everybody was so comfortable, especially Cammy and Bance. Like, I feel like I was watching old school Toronto Ultra once again. Like, seeing Cammy out there frying, aggressively playing cuts, Bance playing his life in corners, letting people run past them and finding two pieces. Like, that's exactly what I've been waiting to see out of the Minnesota Røkkr. A shame it took them all season to find it, but we'll see if they can continue going forward.
With this loss, LA Thieves, now 0-4, are guaranteed a spot in our losers bracket, looking to play spoiler once again in Toronto. For Minnesota Røkkr, though, you still got one more battle, and it's important because after today's 10 points, you now have a 2-game lead over the Legion. But anything could happen come LAN. You think they want to walk away with another dub, and we saw the frustration from Legion today on Twitter after Røkkr picked up another dub.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting there, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I know there's a great man who said that quote. I don't know his name, though, but I know Vegas is thinking.
Let's take a look at our schedule for tomorrow. Allie, break it down for me. What's the game of the day?
I mean, the game of the day might be Atlanta FaZe and Boston Breach, or maybe Vegas Legion and Seattle Surge. That's going to be a big matchup.
Florida Mutineers are going to upset Texas. OpTic is going down. Join us all live for that. 2:45 p.m. Eastern will be the next episode of Headquarters. We'll see you then.
The last Super Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Where I left off, it ain't over. Whole squad on the gravel. All I know, I'm a soldier. Stand up, add attention, shake it off. Tell us Swift, forget the trick. Back to mission, no surrender, just commitment. I see visions, eyes closed, shut, heart monitor going crazy. Met his panicking. Woke up from the stretcher in the red, removing the bandages. Hopes up, I'ma catch whoever made me suffer these damages. Power level breaking screens, they like, wait, look at them scampering. Rejuvenated, reborn, I'm basically the man again. Made the world stand still, they amazed, frozen like mannequins. Kick the door off the hinges, make way, someone needs banishing. They ain't think I was able, but I'm came when it come to savageness. I'ma finish it, I'ma finish it. Still got a little fight, I'ma finish it. Little this, little that, everyone pulling triggers full of max. Talking PCs cause they full of that. Ain't really G's, they GNAPs, they really just next. Scratch them off, power balls. Look at them spinning, they really spin offs. Getting me dizzy, give me a headache, maybe wanna tear my head off. I could really use the Tylenol. Candy rappers talking good and plenty, it's really too many to mention, but no, I'm tired of y'all. Suck to infinity, you could never be my enemy. You make me look good, I should be hiring y'all. I'm reborn, I'm basically the man again. Made the world stand still, they amazed, frozen like mannequins. Kick the door off the hinges, make way, someone needs banishing. They ain't think I was able, but I'm came when it come to savageness. I'ma finish it, I'ma finish it. Still got a little fight.